Welcome to channel viewers. Problem with unresolved is it's like a cancer. Now, what will happen when it comes to emotional incest, you're up against a really dark, vicious spirit. And the problem with it is the spirit's being cultivated through the domestic formation of the family. Now, a lot of it is not intended for it to end up as emotional incest, but it is. What I mean by this is, if the people knew what the consequences of surrogating their children were, they wouldn't do it. They'd just go and get professional help. But this isn't an excuse either for these people that are doing this. These problems are real. They have mental health impacts. And it's really sad because there's a vicious side to it and there's a desperate side to it. But is there a solution to it? Probably boundaries and therapy and understanding. And you shouldn't get your children too involved in your adult business. And when the children become hostile and a problem to the relationship, adult children, 20, 30, maybe 16, 17, 18, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, they're getting their nose in where it don't belong, and the person that you're with is letting them, you need to leave. Just leave, because the person that you're with is weak. And that means if they can't fix a situation like this, and when things don't get fixed, that's going to bring a problem to the relationship, which ultimately could turn the person away from it, even though it's not your problem. You will get baited into trying to defend yourself on a delusion. Don't buy into it. And what that'll cause is a series of events that'll lead to a narcissistic collapse, either in, say, the mother. If it's the mother-in-law, it could be the golden child son. If it's the son, one or the other in their desperation is going to have a narcissistic collapse, because that's a last-minute ditch attempt to get the full attention of the parent and to try and pull them away from the relationship that they're having. And I've seen 20-year-olds faint, 20-year-old males faint to get their mother's attention and to hold it. That bastard ruined my marriage, that one. The last guy tried to bung on that I thought it was funny that he was going to commit suicide. I never entertained it. I didn't even entertain it. I thought, wow. And this is how desperate they'll get. But is it all their fault? No. The mothers surrogate these boys and make them partners. One of them used to sleep with his mother. They probably cuddled and hugged and slept together. And how do you expect anyone to undo that? You come along and mummy's all happy with the new man, but mummy's little husband isn't. Oh no, mummy's little husband's going to have a narcissistic collapse. Suffer a series of narcissistic injuries that lead to a complete psychological collapse. They'll change jobs, they won't keep their jobs, they're in and out of the psychiatrist, they're medicated, they're on drugs, they drink, they can't hold a relationship, they're on mummy's titty, and these women know it. Don't get involved with these people. Let them starve. You know, people just aren't aware of it. They're enabling all this horrible personality dysfunctions, NPD, narcissistic personality disorders, all these personality disorders, to try and soothe themselves from their relationships collapsing. I can tell you for a fact right now, my last relationship, how could these people are wrecking their relationships and taking it all to the next one. How can, no. They're just not helping each other. They don't know how to. Effectively, they're ruining each other. And they're trying to blame everybody else for it. Well, no, that's not happening either. That's why you don't buy into narcissistic assault. Just ignore it. Just go, oh, God. Because when you see the narcissist, especially if they're malignant, starting to collapse, psychologically collapse, it's not going to stop. It's going to go all the way until you're out of it. They're not going to stop for no one. They are going to get the full attention of the person that's causing them the injury, which is usually the mother or the golden child or the father or the golden daughter. They are going to go for it, man. They're going to go for it hard, really hard. And there'll be no holding back. You'll be the target, and they'll do everything they can to line you up as the problem. And they won't be happy until you are subjugated or separated from the situation, from the family environment. These people cause so much stress and trouble. It's hard to comprehend. I've spent thousands of hours trying to figure out a way of fixing it, and you can't. And if you leave yourself subject to it, it's just not. You end up with trauma. You end up with injury yourself because it's not a healthy environment. You're trying to love this person and they're just, it's so sad. But it's sad for you if you stay in it because you ain't building anything. You're just a means of supply. Look at my other videos on emotional incest. I go right into it. Not from the textbook, from experience. I've seen it, and the women I've been with know. I showed them as it went along. My last one, we watched her son go through all the motions until he come to his psychological collapse, his narcissistic collapse. At that point, I didn't want to go back there. I got the blame for it. No, that's not happening to me. No. You can't blame somebody else for an infantile tantrum. But they'll try to. And if you try and defend yourself, you're buying into it. It's all a delusion. Leave them in their delusion. Teach them a lesson. Not everybody's going to jump when these people have a tantrum. They're having a tantrum. You need to understand that's all it is. It's just a childish, infantile tantrum taking place by an adult. And you need to make sure you don't engage it, because that's what they want. Once you're in the delusion, you become a part of it, and that's how they ruin you. That's how they get you out of the relationship, because they defame you. Once they've undermined, I've had children of exes go to the house of my new girlfriend to undermine who I am. And these are children of a woman that stole, had an affair, upturned a marriage that there was nothing wrong with. Oh no, you've got no idea how narcissism can work and how dangerous it is. Personality disorders, man. The covert ones, the ones that know how to hide it, man, it's heavy. Really, really heavy. And really, really cruel. There's nothing you can do about it. Once they go into devalue, once they go into, I'm going to destroy this isn't for me, after everything they've done to build it. Remember my last girlfriend said, don't you think, I think she said it to her sons, don't you think he's had enough of all this? You know, there was nothing she could do. She was the meat in the sandwich, but she made it that way for herself as well. And so it just goes on, and these people just go on, and they get sick and ill, and the longer you're with them, the worse it gets. They don't know any better. They go to work, they come home, they have their drugs, they pay their rent, they get their shopping, they fill their faces. They don't fix anything. You know, there's nothing that feels more rewarding than somebody that you're with wanting to fix the problem. You know, you sit down and talk about it and they go, yeah, you're right, let's fix this. But when people are scared of their adult children, that's what narcissism wants. It wants you to be scared. You've got no hope. None. And these children will wreck the relationships. That's what they do. They're going to wreck the relationship. And they won't be happy until they do, because they want you gone. That's all there is to it. Until you're gone, there's no satisfaction. None. And that's just how it works. Terrible. I've seen so much, I've experienced tremendous loss for the time and energy that I've put into the lives of these people. And a lot of you guys are blaming the mother as a single mother. Yeah, it's true, and their children in a fear. But it's much deeper and more dangerous than that. I've seen the real bad side of all this. And the way in which it's worked against me has been so hostile and so evil that you just go, I don't even think I knew these people. You know, you can go on and meet other people, and there's always someone in the background waiting for a piece of you. But you get to the point where I'm at, where you've tried your hardest all your life, and you've just run into these people that can't fix themselves, let alone anyone else. They haven't had that mentality. They've been too busy blaming everybody else. And you can't help them. You can't change them. There's nothing you can do about it. You've just got to go, well, okay, now I know what that person's about. And the enablers and the rescuers and the martyrs and the victims, they're the most dangerous. Honestly, they're the most dangerous, because they just won't get to the root of the problem. It's too hard. Just too hard. So you'll be let down, you'll be disappointed, you'll suffer your own mental injuries, and everybody just loses. Everybody just loses at the hand of emotional incest. It's really, really bad. Really bad. I can sit here and say it, because I've seen it, and you present yourself as a man, you've done all your, I've lived a hard life, and I've watched these lazy asses, that won't even clean their shit out of the toilet bowl, destroy things that I've built, relationships that I've built. And these mothers need to kick up the arse, really, they do. They're so afraid of their children. Like, the children have got them on eggshells. I'm going to commit suicide. I'm going to commit suicide. Fucking lock the little prick up if he's going to commit suicide. Put him in a fucking asylum until he wakes up. Oh, yous all better walk around on eggshells. Oh, for fuck's sake, come on. Oh, you think it's funny. You think it's funny that I'm going to commit... Oh, no. Oh, no. These people don't realise you went up to the boys' home for 15 years. You worked out on the streets at Terrigal for 10, 12 years, helping people, and you got these... Oh, my God. These people determine themselves to lose. And the problem with it is they try and take you with them, and they don't even know they're doing it. And you just stand there and you go, oh, come on, guys, like, really? Come on. It got so bad, I used to wonder why this woman was coming over here. I'm thinking, why are you even coming over here? It's so bad. She just didn't have the power to fix it, and she definitely didn't have the power to harm me. And this has gone for all. One woman I married, I just said, look, you're going to have to go and house your brat somewhere else. Wouldn't pay rent, wouldn't clean up after himself, whinged, whined. No. Last time I saw them two, they were at the psychiatrist for the kid. Good on him, he needs it. That's what they do to him. You shouldn't have your adult children involved in your personal life, you single mothers. You're destroying their lives, their minds. You're disrupting their capabilities to have a healthy relationship. They let them get on drugs and dope and tablets because they're on it themselves. They're on it themselves. So they just let everyone end up on it, and everybody's stuffed up. You come along, a shining light, a fire. Man, there's narcissistic injury, people freaking out, people run around trying to defame you, and you're just trying to love these people, and you can't. I said to my last girlfriend, I said, I just can't love you. The unresolved's too much. It's not safe to love you. I don't know if that come as a shock to her or not, but there was definitely no way that, she was representing anything that was truly love, because love resolves its shit. It doesn't just leave it sit there. Reverend Dr. J.W. Morrison, theologist. I've seen, just in my life, supposedly to be the Christian and loving in that, I've seen so much damage, psychological damage and harm come from people's dysfunction. They haven't got a clue. They just haven't got a clue. And it's like they don't want to have a clue. They leave you with trauma. You're asking questions. And they just disappear. There's no I'm sorry. There's no, gee, you know, that did get out of control. I'm sorry it ended up that way. No. It's really disgraceful. Really, really disgraceful. And you want to be careful. You know, that's the part of the single mother disaster that brings people down. They just destroy your life. They allow their adult children. Don't worry about the little children. I've seen all that too. I've seen a 10-year-old boy have his mother around the throat, forcing her to drive him to school. She was a narcissist in the end. She was asexual into herself. No. No. What happens is they get with men that don't try and fix anything or correct anything, and it just leaves these women to themselves, and they become combative and they object to everything, and they go along in silence, but you can see there's a lot of resentment and bitterness and conceitedness and envy and strife going on underneath. No. Once you get to my age, 57, and you're trying to, set up yourself with somebody that you can love and care for, and it just doesn't come off for you. You do want to be aggressive about these problems that are in our societies. You want to get the word out that this is what can happen to you. Because these little bastards, these little brats, young simp male brats that are stoned and on drugs and all the rest of it, nah, they're trouble. They're serious trouble, and they don't give a shit what happens to their mothers. They just want to use them up. And the mother will let them. Reverend Dr. J.W. Morrison, protect yourself, guys and girls, because men do it too. And remember this too. We reap what we sow. If we end up, causing somebody a mental health injury because of unresolved, guess what's coming your way? And these little hostile young adult men, guess what's coming their way? You're sowing the seeds of the devil, and you just don't even know it. I'm out.